Perfect. So like I just said, man, it's been so cool for people who are able to message me throughout the week and say they've actually implemented this stuff. They've actually done some of the exercises. They've actually done they've actually implemented a lot of this in their life, whether it be the meditation, whether it be heart activation stuff, whether it be the way they visualize, whether it be the way they interpret information, whether it be the way they feel fully, right? Feel all their emotions fully and resolve those internal conflicts. I'm getting messages of people all the time saying they've had like these crazy ideas for their business that they're implementing, that they're making more money, that they're getting more opportunities, that more people are coming into their life because they feel safe. Man, it's cool to just get messages of people all the time saying they're benefiting from the group, benefiting from these calls, benefiting from interacting with one another and building their own networks. It's just super exciting that you're able to take that action and get that benefit. So you only get out of this what you do, right? The effort you put in is the reward you get out. And so I know a lot of you on the call are doing that, and that's been super cool. So what I wanted to discuss here are your goals that you have. I know a lot of this is heart-centered stuff. I know a lot of this is the internal work, but that's the underlying base, right? Is the emotional work that you do, and that frees you up to achieve what you want to achieve. Now let's discuss and give you a bit of a rundown of why that is. A lot of people feel the fears, doubts, and frustrations in business, right? Because we have a belief that we need to get somewhere in order to feel a certain way. Or at some level, you feel like you need to achieve in order to fill a void within yourself. You feel like you need to achieve in order to, feel enough and to feel worthy, right? To feel you can be happy, joyful, free, whatever it may be. And what we're learning here in this group, on these calls, the work we've been doing is diving in deep and resolving those internal conflicts. Now, what do a lot of people do when they feel the fear? They avoid it, right? They avoid that emotion, or they resist that emotion by saying, I should be feeling something different. I shouldn't be feeling this way and I need to be fixed, right? And the analogy we use all the time is like a 5-year-old coming up to us and saying, if a 5-year-old is scared, it's almost like you saying to that 5-year-old, go away, little kid, until you feel better. Or stop feeling that way. You should be feeling something different. You need to be fixed, right? That's what we do to our internal 5-year-olds when they come up in the form of fear. What you guys have been so brilliant at doing is learning how to actually feel your fear, process those emotions, feel fully without any resistance, without any judgment, and you resolve those internal conflicts. Now, what happens when you resolve those internal conflicts? This is where it gets exciting, especially if you're in business, especially if you have goals. And that is that you open up a space of so much creativity, so much flow, so much alignment, so much abundance that it just flows out of you, right? You're in such a flow that the success just happens as a byproduct, right? And you start to realize that you are the source of everything you create. Welcome, DJ. We'll have a few more people struggling in here, which is really cool. So I want to get this kicked off with a little bit of engagement. If you could use the chat, obviously you guys know how to use the chat. Regina, you can use with the chat, you can set it to all panelists, which it's on right now, or you can set to all panelists and attendees if you like everyone to see the message, and that's for everyone as well. So just type in, what is something you want to achieve? What is an external result you want to have achieved? What is something, whether you want to achieve it by the end of the year, next year, something in life? What's a goal that you have? What's a goal that you want to achieve? And let's see what we can come up with. For me personally, it's a lot of goals are around growing the group. Man, I'd love to have these group calls. I know they get up to somewhere around, live attendees about 18, sometimes 20, more than 20 people. But I'd love to have like hundreds on these calls, right? And grow it to like 100 of people in the next year or so, jumping on, doing this type of work. That would be incredible. And so, and even in my own business, multiple six figures is on the horizon for me as well. And that's something I want to achieve externally. Okay, I want to take my copywriting agency to 20K a month in 3 months. Awesome. Perfect. Who else has some money goals? Anything you want to achieve personally, financially, in your business? I know a lot of people are out here driving, listening to this. So if you're driving, don't crash. Increase my friends list to 4,000. Awesome. By February, grow my group to 100 to earn 25K a month by June 2020. Steven's got inner peace. Beautiful. Beautiful. Perfect. Crystal's driving. Don't crash. I assume that's not your external goal to start driving. I assume that's what you're saying you're doing now. Awesome. So have you ever felt, and thanks for your comments, guys, that's incredible. Have you ever caught yourself feeling like, if I achieve that, I'll be happy. If only I achieve that, right? I'll be free. I'll be safe. I'll feel secure. I'll be more worthy, right? I'll feel more successful. DJ, 10x my JV partnerships in 2020 to 4x Macchiato flow revenue. Makoto flow revenue. Awesome. So have you ever felt yourself feel like, as soon as I achieve that, I'll be happy. As soon as I achieve that, I'll feel something. As soon as I achieve that, I'll be successful, right? Yes and no, says DJ. So have you ever felt that? Maybe just type in the chat box. Maybe type in 1 if you've ever caught yourself at some level feeling that way. I know I have. I'll type in 1 as well. I'm part of the group, part of you guys. 1. Exactly. Now, this is what we're taught. Right? This is what we're taught by society, by our conditioning, by our parents. Right? We have a 5-year-old within us that says, I need to go and achieve in order to feel like I'm enough. Right? That because when we achieved when we were 5, or when we were 2, 3, 4, 5 years old, when we achieved, all of a sudden we got love off our parents. We got attention, consciously or unconsciously, which to our unconscious mind meant survival. If I'm loved, I can survive. So we grew up with this pattern that says, you know, if I achieve, I'll be enough. Good to hear you just parked. Good job, Crystal. Right? And then we're coupled with this society that says you're not happy until you have this product. You're not happy until you have this. And it's their job. It's literally, in terms of the media, whatever, it's their job to keep you small, to keep you in your small story so they can sell you stuff that you don't need. Right? Who's been seeing this time and time again, right? It's a society that says, right? And it's a beautiful thing. Like in business, we need to sell products. But part of that journey in our society, especially in the Western world, has been stay small, keep people small so they can buy the stuff they don't need. Right? They can buy the stuff that they think is going to provide that happiness. What you're learning here is happiness does not come from something external. Right? It's not when I achieve this, I'll be happy. It's when I'm happy, I'll achieve. Right? And by being happy, what we mean is by feeling fully, by allowing everything. So think of your goal. Think of this external goal that you've just written down in front of you, right? And if you have this goal that says when I achieve this, I'll feel a certain way. When I achieve this, I'll feel enough, I'll feel worthy. What you're doing is you're making the goal, you're making this external goal bigger than you, right? You're making it bigger than you. This is what I started finding out, midway through this year, is the successful coaching business, growing a successful Facebook group and a community and all this. I'm like, oh, if only I could do that, man, that would be incredible. But what I'm doing is I'm making that bigger than me. It's saying I need that in order to feel a certain way, right? So if everyone's just to take a deep breath right now, you might want to just take a deep breath. And as we do on these calls, is pay close attention to your body. Pay very close attention to your body and feel your body. Feel this energy, feel any tension, feel any stress, feel any vibrations, any emotions, the thoughts that are going on. And just pay close attention to your heart, that thing beating your heart. Because when you pay close attention to your heart, your physical body, what you start to realize is that you are the source of everything. You are the source that creates all the results. Everything you've created in your life, you created it. You are the creator, right? You are the one who made it happen. It came through your creativity, your insight, your wisdom, your action, your courage, your imagination. You are the source of all of it. So I heard this from Kyle Cease. He said, imagine you're in the woods with a group of friends and you're all thirsty. You're all thirsty. And I go around the corner and all of a sudden I see this huge waterfall. A huge waterfall. I'm like, sweet. So I get this cup and I fill up the cup with water. And then I go back around to the group where all you are, where you don't see the waterfall. But I say, look what I got. I got a cup of water. A cup of water. How incredible is that? And then everyone's like, oh my God, that's cool. So you start drinking water, but then obviously you live in scarcity, that's all you've got. Right? What happens when we run out of that water? What you've completely neglected is the source of the water. It's the waterfall. And so that's what can start to sink in right now. When you've listed your goals, when you've listed something you want to achieve externally, that's awesome. That's perfect. That allows you to expand. What we can't forget is that external goal is like the cup. That external goal that you want to achieve is like the cup. So if you're focused on the cup and you think that's awesome, that's so cool, I achieved this dollar figure or this external result, right? You may live in fear if you think that's all you have. What you're forgetting is the source of that cup. And the source is you. You created everything, your imagination, your creativity, your flow, your alignment, right? Your action, your courage. You are the source of everything you've created. So don't get excited about these goals. Get excited about you. This was the biggest shift when I started creating this community. Is I'm not going to get excited about just the community. I'm going to get excited about me, right? Because if I just get excited about the community and the results of it, I'm like, man, that's cool, that's awesome. Then where does that leave me? I live in fear that if I lose the community, what's going to happen? What if I drink all of that water? What's going to happen? But I started getting excited about me. I started getting excited about my creativity, my imagination, my flow. And once I started paying attention to that, I started realizing that I'm bigger than any goal I can create. And in fact, when I do that, I can create good ideas all day, every day. Right? see here. Since feeling complete and open, since feeling complete often depends on certain conditions, what are you saying we need to feel whole and complete unconditionally? Yeah, so what you're saying is since feeling complete often depends on certain conditions. What are those conditions? What conditions do you think need to happen for you to feel complete? Irene says, great point. Agree. I just coach someone about not looking at the numbers, rather focusing on what makes you happy, your activities you engage in. Awesome. Yes. The flow you create when you resolve these internal conflicts, right? And Reginald, I know you're new, but what we can do is I can send you some videos and some earlier sessions to help with this type of transformation internally. What happens when you resolve these internal conflicts is you just have so much flow. And as DJ just said, what matters most is that flow. What matters most is that creativity, because you're just accessing your waterfall where you can create $1 million ideas all day, every day. You can create partnerships, you can create friendships, you can create ideas, you can create lead magnets, you can create a new source of income when you're in that creative flow, right? So that's the shift. The shift is to, instead of the focus being out here on what you can create and that'll be awesome, focus on you, because you'll be able to create that, then this, and then that, and then this, and then that again, all day, every day. So this is almost like being the apple tree and then getting super excited about creating an apple. When you're creating it, if you're super excited about this apple, then you forget that you're the source of creating apples. If you get excited about this apple, all of a sudden you're super excited about it. You're showing people this apple that you created. You're like, oh, maybe I'm going to create this apple. Maybe I'll create 2 apples. I don't know. That might sound crazy. And all of a sudden, while you're obsessing about this apple, you're not creating the other apples that you do just naturally. So what happens? So first of all, does this make sense? Maybe give me a quick yes if this makes sense. This is the paradigm shift, and I'll explain a little bit why. I've written some notes down here. I'll explain why this is a bit of a paradigm shift. Because so many people, I'm sure you've seen in your entrepreneurial network, in your entrepreneurial world, how many people are obsessing about that result and thinking they need to find a strategy to get that result. You are the strategy. You are the strategy generator, right? You are the strategy generator. Everyone's trying to find the perfect strategy on how to get this result. And they're saying, I'm not happy until I get that result, right? I'm not happy until I get there. Now I'm trying to find a way to get there. When you try to find a way and you think there's a perfect way to do it, you cut off that flow. You cut off that creativity of infinite possibilities on how to get there. And Crystal, does it work to just disregard all these internal blocks and focus on the visualizations of your dream life? Well, here's the thing. To access that creativity, we need to resolve those internal blocks. So feeling those fully, right? Whatever block comes up, quote unquote block, whatever patterns of thought, emotions, whatever it may be, we go through the process of accepting them, right? Feeling them fully, loving them, getting to a place of surrender and no resistance. And it's in that space, this is what I coach a lot of people through. It's in that space where you resolve your internal conflicts, where you can access this flow, right? Very hard to access a flow when you're truly believing that I need to achieve this in order to be happy. I need to achieve this in order to be enough. I need to achieve this in order to be successful. So this is what we do. What happens when you become the source? You become bigger than your goal. When you meditate, when you resolve these internal conflicts, you realize how infinite you are. You realize how infinite you are, and that you are just the infinite possibility. And when you do that, you realize you are bigger than your goal. You are so much bigger than your goal, right? Who you are, you have a beating heart. All you are at the core of everything is heart and lungs. You have heart, lungs, and you have unlimited potential. Unlimited potential. Limitless possibilities. And when you tap into your flow, you recognize that and you realize it. And when you meditate and you resolve these internal conflicts, you tap into that. And when you're bigger than your goal, so your goal's here, if you're trying to get there, you can remain stuck because you're trying to figure it out. And you're saying that goal's bigger than me. What happens when you meditate is if this is you and you meditate, your consciousness goes higher. But you realize you are more than anything you can achieve. And then what happens? Your goals start chasing you. Your goals start chasing you. Right? Because you are bigger than anything that you can create. You are bigger than any goal you can achieve. And if you're bigger than any goal you can achieve, then you'll be operating and living in a way, operating on a different channel, on a different vibration, where you'll be attracting the very thing that you wanted. But the only reason why it'll be attracted to you and you'll just achieve it as a byproduct is because you don't need to achieve it in order to feel a certain way. You feel like you don't need to achieve it. So for example, I keep coming back to this example, but when I was growing this community, I asked myself, who do I need to be? What vibration do I need to be on? What channel do I need to be on for this to happen as a byproduct? Right? For this to happen as a byproduct. And as I meditated, and as I resolved my internal conflicts, that's the flow that came out of me. And I just had so much, I know I've told you guys before, but I just, after meditation, I have so much love and so much creativity on what value I can add to the group. And it feels so aligned. It feels like a huge passion to just make sure this community is moving forward, is moving forward with their internal conflicts, is having a paradigm shift. Right? It's just in flow for me. And therefore, everything just happens as a byproduct. And now I'm having people who I wanted to partnership with reach out to me and saying, oh, that's awesome what you're doing, man. What can we do together? Right? What can we do together? Even now, I'm having clients come into my life. And it's so easy and effortless because it's a different vibration. And I know I'm bigger than anything I can achieve. So that makes me safe. Right? Makes me safe. And you guys have so much infinite potential and infinite possibilities once you realize that you are bigger than any goal. Right? You are bigger than any goal. I like where this is going. Time to raise vibrations. The new game. Yeah, the new name of the game. Exactly. So what happens when your vibration and your channel is bigger than the goals you have set? You become safe for that. You become so safe because you don't need it. You feel like you don't need it. Hopefully this is a paradigm shift that's sinking in a little bit. If you don't understand it intellectually, it'll sink in when you meditate, when you do this internal work. So what cuts a lot of people off from this flow is when they're trying to figure it out. If you are bigger than any goal, you tap into that waterfall. So why would you try and find a very particular strategy and obsess about finding the particular right way? You cut yourself off from all those infinite possibilities, all those infinite all those infinite ideas that can come through. If you surrender, like Michael Singer says, right? If you live in a place of surrender and just surrender to what's going on around you, what's going on inside you, and you surrender to it and you accept it, all of a sudden you open yourself up to more possibilities. What is the universe trying to show you? What is your heart trying to pull you towards? What feels light? What feels aligned? So hopefully this is a bit different. Hopefully I've ticked off a lot of the different things I had written down here, but you can tell I'm in flow. So this is a concept that you guys can truly take in. It's a game changer. As you said, it's a game changer. When you know you're bigger than that. So for example, if you have a relationship, do you want to get into a relationship where someone feels like, I need this relationship to feel worthy? If someone's insecure, how much do you want to be in that relationship? It'd probably feel heavy, right? You probably feel a pressure. You probably feel, a neediness, a scarcity. But that's what we're doing with our goals. What we're doing with our goals is saying, I need to achieve this in order to be a certain way. I need to achieve this in order to feel a certain way, in order to be successful. You have conditions. And that's why I say one of the biggest things we can have is the realization that a lot of us are trying to build a business based on fear, scarcity, and lack. Right? And we're needy. We feel scarcity about it. Me too. I catch myself all the time. Trust me, I'm going through this as well, which is why I took up the challenge of meditating for 2 hours a day for 90 days, which I just completed. And I'm going to continue. It's been such beneficial, and I've seen so much change in my life. I'm not going to slow down. Maybe I'll increase it to 4 hours a day. So is this landing for you guys? Give me a quick yes. Type in some questions. Irene says yes. Biggest takeaway is you're the source, right? You are the source. You are the source of everything. If your external results are to get achieved, trust me, once you focus internally, instead of trying to find the external solution, trying to find the external tactic, tool, strategy, once you create that shift, everything changes. Everything changes. It's insane. And that's why I'm getting messages of people saying how much more is flowing into their life, how much more ideas they got going on. The complete pivot in their business is because they're focusing on them. They're actually doing the meditation. They're actually focusing on themselves, and they're becoming safe for things to flow in their life. And think about a relationship. Think about a relationship. If you're in a relationship with someone and they feel like they're whole, they're completely whole even without that relationship. And because they're so whole, they can pour even more into that relationship. That's what you can be like in your business. You can build your business based on that. You can build your business based on the fact that you're so whole internally, that you are so whole, you are so abundant, that everything else just flows. Everything else just flows. So the question is, who do you need to be? What channel do you need to operate at? What vibration do you need to be vibrating at? What emotions do you need to feel internally that's based on that? So one way to ask this is, who are you? What do you think the external result is going to achieve for you? What do you want to feel from the external result? Maybe you guys can type in the chat. For me, a lot of it was safety. I felt I needed to achieve a particular income goal for me to feel safe and secure. For some people, it may be to feel freedom. For some people, it may be to feel abundant. For some people, it may feel successful. Maybe you guys can type in the chat, what is it that you were trying to feel or trying to achieve internally by achieving the external results. And let's see what we can find. Irene, it's integrating the internal balance with the external skills to create what we desire. Exactly. So you can learn some skills, learn some tactics, learn some tools, bring that into your heart. Bring that into your heart where you can use that for infinite possibilities, right? I learn tactics, tools, and strategies all the time. I just bring it back to me. I don't make that the solution. I make me the solution. Definitely feel freedom in doing what I want. Yes. When I want. Yes. Exactly. I think Crystal says, I second what Regina said. I think we're going to have a second, third, fourth, and fifth on that one. Who here has ever, maybe type in one, if you've ever felt like you need to achieve an external goal to feel freedom, to achieve freedom. One. Yes, totally. It's everyone, right? Everyone. Exactly. What are you learning here? What you can start to realize when you do this, freedom is not found out there. That's all a story. Freedom is found in here. You are freedom. Right? You are freedom. When it comes down to it, when you release all the stories, what's true? What's true? You have a heart and lung. You have heart and lungs and the same amount of potential as anyone. Right? The atoms in your body were the atoms formed from exploding stars. We are all connected on an energy level. How the hell are you not freedom? This is what you find in meditation, is you start to break away the stories that aren't you. This is what's so powerful. When you sit down in silence and you feel sadness, when you feel stressed, when you feel worried, when you feel panic, when you feel scarcity, when you feel lack, it's coming up because it's trying to emerge out of you. Right? It's emerging so it can be released. So you can let go of those stories. Because what happens when you sit in silence is your body, the universe, whatever you want to call it, is trying to get rid of what's not you. It's trying to get rid of what's not you. The challenge a lot of people have is they resist that. When their fears, doubts, frustrations come up, they avoid them, they ignore them, or they resist them by making them wrong. And therefore they push them back down where they can grow unconsciously. Whatever is coming up for you is trying to be released. It's trying to release what's not you. And so if you felt these stories of stress, that's your body, that's the universe, that's God, whatever you want to call it, trying to remove what's not you. Trying to remove what's not you. The stress, the overwhelm, the fear, the doubt, all those stories are just stories. They are not you. When it comes down to it, you are freedom. Who you are is freedom. Who you are is love. Who you are is abundance. Right? Who you are is security. This is the biggest thing for me. The biggest thing for me. I realized that if I'm the source of all my results, if I'm the source of everything I've ever created, that means my creativity and flow is security. Because I can figure anything out. Absolutely anything. I can figure anything out. Right? But I do that with my flow. It's not a particular tactic, tool, and strategy that I'm looking for. It's me. I am more creative than anything when I tap into it. That makes me security. That makes me safety. That makes me freedom. So what is it that you are, that you need to tell, that you need to understand within yourself, that you need to realize within yourself? What is it that you need to realize that you are that answer? You are the answer to everything. To everything. What do you feel in your body when you realize that? So for the next few minutes, let's do this. For the next few minutes, let's just allow that to sink in. So you might want to take a deep breath. So breathe in and out and in and out. One more, breathe in and out. So those who can, you might want to close your eyes as well. And feel yourself going from your head into your body. Just the energy, just your focus going from your head of your thoughts, strategies and worries and past and future into the present right now. Just feel your body. Feel the thing that's beating your heart. Feel any vibrations, sensations. Notice any thoughts that are coming up. Notice any emotions that are coming up. And just allow everything. Just be in a space of just allowing. Welcoming all the thoughts. Welcoming all the tension. Welcoming all the doubt. Welcoming all the fear. Be the observer. Be the parent of all those patterns. Be the loving, safe space of all of this. And then just pay close attention to the thing that's beating your heart. The thing beating your heart's the same thing that's beating my heart. What is that? I have no clue. All I know is that we don't have control over it. It's just something that exists. Something that's bigger than your mind can comprehend. And it's bigger than your mind can comprehend. So it's the exact same thing as who you are. The infinite possibility of who you are, the infinite abundance, the infinite freedom, the infinite security of who you are is more than your mind can comprehend. It's more than your mind can wrap its head around. It doesn't need to. You can feel it. This is what happens when you go into your heart. It's more than your mind. So feel that. Just feel it. Feel your body. And imagine yourself operating from this place of abundance, operating from this place of freedom, operating from this place where you are bigger than anything you can accomplish. Who you are, what's happening right now in your body with the blood pumping around, the cells that are being replenished, the consciousness of ideas, inspirations, of love. The energy coming out of your heart, the drive you have is bigger than anything you can accomplish. This is your waterfall. This is your waterfall. So what's possible when you operate from this place? What's possible when you place the connection with yourself as the highest priority? Because when you tap into your heart, when you listen to your body, you know that if you make the connection with yourself the number one priority, everything else will flow. Everything else will fall into place. Everything else. You don't need a particular tactic, tool, or strategy. Your heart knows how to sell. Your heart knows how to be creative. Your heart knows how to connect with people. What's possible if you connect with people from a place of not needing their approval, from a place of not needing anything from them, from a place of you already are abundant, you already are what you want to achieve? What would your business be like? Who would want to jump on board with your mission and purpose? Who would want to share your work? Who would want to donate, become a client, do some pro bono work for you? When you reach them from this place, how much more value can you give your clients when you operate from this place? What will your marketing be like when you're speaking from your heart, when you're speaking from abundance, when you're speaking from your truth, when you're more vulnerable, more open, more honest? Now, Crystal raised a good point. While you feel your body, while you remain in this state, what you also might realize is that there's a lot of uncertainty. Because when you realize the potential of who you really are, it's a death to the story of what you thought you were. A lot of people think they are their success, they are their car, their bank account, they are their family, they are, their role in society. When you can feel your body, you feel you're none of that. You're just this moment. You're just this moment. And so there may be some sadness. There may be some uncertainty coming up. That's a beautiful thing. Feel it. Feel that uncertainty. Feel that sadness. Feel that anxiety. You're just releasing a story of who you thought you were. You're releasing a story of limitation. It's coming up because it's ready to be transcended. It's ready to be released. And it can do that when you welcome it. When you welcome it and you love it. With no resistance, no judgment, just feel it and let it release. Some of you may have held on to these stories of limitation for 10, 20, 30, 40 years. It's sad to see that the truth is the death of that story. It creates a lot of uncertainty, but from that uncertainty comes the truth. The people you'll be connecting with in business, your clients, your teammates, co-workers, they go through this as well. They have stories of limitation. They have stories of limitation. They need a leader. They need a leader to show them the truth. They need a leader to show them a paradigm shift that they haven't seen before. What's possible in your business if you've seen so much potential in yourself that you also see potential in others? What's possible in your business when you've resolved so many internal conflicts within yourself that you can help others do the same? It's been the biggest gift, truly the biggest gift in my life of doing these meditations 2 hours a day, right, for months on end, is that I can now be the safe space for someone to go through something. I can be the safe space for someone to resolve these internal conflicts. So I've done it for myself, and I continue to do it for myself. The sadness of past relationships, the uncertainty of business, the scarcity of finances, I've felt all of that, and it came out, and I've been crying, I've been like shaking, I've just sat there in fear, and I just sat with it and realized that's just a story. All it is a story. So when you guys have a moment, you might want to get a pen and paper and write down what your small story was. What was it? What was the story you were telling yourself? What was the story you were previously believing that led you to think, when I achieve that, I'll be happy. When I achieve that, I'll be freedom. When I achieve that, I'll be secure. What was the story you were telling yourself? And just write down what anything that comes to you, anything that comes to mind. Irene says, this is what our business is all about. To see our clients' greatness, not by buying into their story, yes, of not being good enough or what they can't accomplish, what they want. And we can start by not buying into our stories. And there'll be so many stories that are unconscious that will only emerge once you sit down and meditate. There are so many stories even in my mind right now that I'm not aware of. I'm going through this with you guys. Right? I'm only saying what I need to hear myself. Trust me. There's so many times I sit in meditation and these stories will emerge and these sadness. I need to do all of this work again and again and again. Again and again and again. So just write down, what was your small story? What was your story of limitation? What were you previously believing? There may be some sadness coming up. As Crystal's saying, some sadness, some uncertainty, some doubt, because you're like, if I'm only this moment, who the hell am I? If I'm not these external circumstances, what the hell am I? And that's the beauty of it. This is when you really start to find out who you really are. Right? The reason why I quit my job and was going into coaching full time, despite the uncertainty, is because I'm like, I'm ready to find out who I really am. Because I was telling myself, I was believing that I'm bigger than anything that I can accomplish. That needs to be followed up by my action. Right? You need to act in accordance and in congruence with what you really believe, and what you really now know is that you are bigger than anything, and you are freedom. You are security. Your flow, your creativity is security. It's not found in a bank account. And if you think it is, you might live in fear that you're going to lose it. And you might cut off all of the other possibilities that it is to create more income. So that's what I can offer to you guys, is a little bit of an exercise. If anyone's willing to share their story of limitation and just say, I was believing this, but now I know this, post in the group, connect, contribute, collaborate. Post in the group and say, maybe to give a bit of a hashtag and say, transformational coaching call, and do that. So, and just share what was your story of limitation? What was your story of limitation? What are you now? What do you realize now? I am freedom. I am love. I am joy. I am laughter. Irene, yes, we are great storytellers. Exactly. It's what our mind does. It's what our mind does. But our heart knows the truth. It truly does. So are there any other questions you guys might have? I know this is a bit of a paradigm shift. I know that you're probably going to see a lot of people out here now in your networks who are stuck in trying to figure out a solution, and they're neglecting themselves, right? If it feels a calling to you, if it feels a pull to you to invite others into these calls in this group, feel free to do that. I really appreciate it, and so would they. But man, this is an absolute paradigm shift. So many people are out there getting stuck because they're neglecting themselves, they're neglecting their flow, they're neglecting their heart and their creativity, and making the answer something external. When really, when they tap into their own answer, that they are the answer, everything changes. So it doesn't seem like we have any questions, but we do have a break next week. So I want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays for those in the US, and man, I'm looking forward to getting your messages and seeing your posts in the group and your comments and all those around how much you apply this and how much it's a shift in your life. It is incredible. It is a game changer. So thank you so much, everyone. I'll be seeing you in the group. I'll be definitely being my merry self across the holidays when I spend time with family and when I get in contact with you guys. So thanks so much, guys. Thanks so much for joining me on this busy period. And I'll see you on these calls in 2 weeks' time. 2 weeks' time. Awesome. Take care, all.